Hey, man.
How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Oh, wow. Had a good night's sleep. Guess what I decided to do yesterday, or decided to do on Friday, but made the decision yesterday.
What's that?
Do half an Ironman.
Really? Which one?
Well, I'm just doing it on my own.
Oh,
But
you're not going to enter a race?
our challenge this week is called Pick Your Medicine, and we had to either run a half marathon, which I did last year, swim 2 miles, bike 40 miles, or row 20. And
Bike 40 is the easy one.
Huh?
Bike 40s, bike 40 miles, that's easy.
Well, I was like, the swim, I don't think will be too hard because, like, honestly, that 1 mile swim I did the other day, I loved it. And I was like, I could do that again.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I did the run last year, and like I've done further runs now, and the bike, I mean, I'm not a biker, but I've heard of people going for like a 40-mile cruiser. Like I've got clients that come in and they've got good health, but they're not like.
Yeah. You can do 40, 50 miles on just like a Saturday, just because it's a nice thing. Yeah.
And so I was just thinking about it, and the idea came in, and I fell asleep thinking about it. I woke up thinking about it. I spent the whole day thinking about it, and I was like, I got to see if I can do it, because now if I don't do it, I'm going to be like wondering. So I feel really, really fresh because I've been doing a little bit of recuperation this last week. So like everything's perfect. I'm going to give it a shot.
So are you just going to do it like this weekend?
Yeah, Friday. I'm gonna do it on Friday. I've got one friend that might run with me. I've got a friend that's gonna bike with me, or I've got one friend that might swim with me. I've got a friend that's gonna bike with me, and I've got another friend that's gonna run with me. So I kind of have like different partners that are gonna meet me.
Yeah.
I'm excited to give it a shot.
Let me know if you've got any questions on logistics or anything at all. Because, I mean, you know that's my jam, right? You know that's what I've done for years. That was my first coaching thing, was as a triathlon coach.
Yes, that's why I wanted to run this by you. So I was told regular breakfast 2 hours before I start. But like if I can do it 2 hours before, then I can have just like 3-4 eggs, some bacon, a little bit of potatoes, like regular breakfast.
Exactly what you always eat.
And then after my swim, which will be probably around 40-45 minutes, after my swim, 300 calories, and then 300 calories every hour moving forward.
And I was never that careful about counting calories.
Okay.
My rhythm was, and I'm a bigger guy than you. Even when I was racing and I was about 20 pounds lighter, I think I was still heavier than you are now. And so I would do that. I'd have a breakfast, normal breakfast, a couple hours first, coffee, because that's part of my morning routine. Do not underestimate the need to organize your bowel movements.
Okay. That's a good point. That's a really good point.
You gotta poop before you get in the water.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you'll be real uncomfortable. And you get nervous, you get like all excited. But yeah, and then after the swim, like I actually didn't really want to eat anything right away. So don't expect, and it's also different when it's like a race, when you're trying to go as fast as you can.
Sure.
I was
trying to like complete it.
Yeah, but like I was definitely like, after the swim, your head's been turning a lot, you're a little bit dizzy, and people can get nauseated. So don't try to eat anything too big, too heavy, too fast.
Okay.
For a half Ironman distance, I didn't really eat solid food. I would eat more things like goo shots, like gels.
Just some goo shots. Like basically I was going to kind of do like a goo shot an hour.
Yeah, and that's about a good pace. Some people don't really tolerate those well, so practice it first, or at least if you've ever had them before, it's fine as long as you're comfortable with them.
Luckily, I've got a pretty strong GI. When I've done the running with my buddy David, who's an ultra marathon runner, he's given me some goos on like a long run, and I feel great. I like them more than we've also done like he'll have like a little pack of like gummy worms or something. I like the goo shots more just because the gummy, it's like so much sugar like in my mouth when I'm running in the heat, and
different brands are different about how much sugar are in them, like Cliff Bar versus Goo Shot versus whatever other brands are out there now. So yeah, as long as you're just familiar with and comfortable with the taste and the texture, all that stuff. I always go with vanilla, but whatever. Definitely make sure you're balancing your electrolytes, and that on the bike is the best opportunity to feed yourself because you're as stable as you're going to be. So you can have more variety of things. Sometimes people like to have banana, sometimes, and that feels like good, kind of settles things. Um, Water bottles, like make sure you're hydrating a lot. It's really hot right now.
Yeah.
And you will definitely like need a lot of fluids, but you'll also lose a lot of salts. So make sure that you're having some amount of, it doesn't have to be Gatorade, but some sort of powdered sports.
I'm not anti-Gatorade. I can do Gatorade.
Yeah.
Yeah. Austin was telling me to make sure that at the end of the bike that I stand up to like open up my hips.
Yes.
You have like a distance that you recommend that for? Like, is it like the last 30 seconds of your bike, or should I try to stand up for like the last mile?
Everyone's different. And you need to make sure that, I mean, how far have you ever ridden your bike before?
That's the bike is going to be my challenge.
Okay.
Like, I am not trained on a bike at all. So for the bike part, I'm borrowing someone's, I'm borrowing some shorts with the pads.
Yeah.
But for the bike part, it's really just going to be, I need to find a good level of cruise, but to not kill myself, because I haven't ridden more than 10 miles since I was a kid.
Okay.
Like, I just never really bike.
Is it your bike?
Borrowing a friend's, he's the same exact height as me.
Okay. Take a little bit of time, find a YouTube on how to fit a bike to you. And so this is the most important thing that like really screwed me up. My first half Ironman race, I was the badass on the team.
Uh-huh.
Training, and everybody was like, let's see what Matt's going to do. And I didn't finish the race because I got off the bike and I had a bad bike fit. So I was too hunched over the whole time. I wasn't long enough. I didn't have, and look, you're a chiropractor, so you'll probably like see this coming, like good positions. But my spinal erector seized up. So I got off the bike, I swung my leg off the bike, and everything locked. And I was Frankenstein. I couldn't.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. I couldn't bend over and change my shoes from my cycling shoes to my running shoes, and I was done.
Wow.
And I had plenty of energy. I felt fine, but I literally could not unseize my back. Couldn't do anything.
All right.
So I called it. I DNF'd that race. And so
picking the bike up for my buddy today, not doing the race until tomorrow, and he's a big cycler. So he was like, I'll make sure that I help you get, set up on it. We're really, I mean, he might be a little bit shorter than me, but I think it's going to be the right size bike.
Leg length and all these other things, torso length, all these things are like super important. And so you just got to make sure you get it as comfortable as you possibly can. And again, you won't be racing, you'll be riding comfortably. So you're not setting any world records. And then as long as you can make that second transition and feel good, your legs are going to feel like crap getting into the run. That bike to run transition, because you'll have been pushing down with your quadricep for a couple hours,
right?
And then you're gonna have to be pulling with your hamstring, and those muscles are going to freak the fuck out, and they're gonna feel they call it's the brick, because your legs feel like they're bricks.
I'm excited.
And so you'll have a really uncomfortable first mile of your run, and then it'll warm up a little bit. So just expect that. Work through it and enjoy. Hydrate, salt balance, all that stuff, and just have fun with it. And if it's not going well, have the humility to be like, this is not my day to do it.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I decided to do it yesterday, and it's definitely just like a personal challenge. Like, let me see if I can do this. Yeah. And it's just like on my mind. But if I can't, then I'm like, all right, then I'm going to train a little bit more, and I'll probably try to do it again in like a month or so.
Yeah. Give yourself 6 to 8 hours to get through it. 6 hours if it's a flat bike and you're a fast runner.
That's what my goal is. I have no idea what my speed on the bike will be. So that's why I'm not sure what it is. I don't think the run will take me more than 2.5, just because even if my legs are as heavy as bricks, that's like a 14-minute mile. And I mean, unless I'm walking the majority of it which if I'm running with David, he's not going to let me walk. He's going to keep me going. Yeah. So I think that'll be 2.5. I think my swim, definitely no more than 45 minutes. So I did 1 mile 2 weeks ago in 40 minutes with no goggles. Because I was the idiot who showed up without goggles, because I was just like, we're going for a swim.
Where are you doing all of this? Where are you going to do it?
I'm going to swim Alameda Shore, because I was comfortable doing that the other day. I liked the fact that at Alameda Shore, and especially because I'm doing the swim potentially alone, I liked the fact that I could be in like 6 feet of water. Totally. And just drift in a little bit if I get tired, and like stand up for a second and breathe. Yeah. Felt safe. So I'm gonna do the swim there. Biking, I was gonna try to keep it as flat as possible, but end in like the meadows, because even though my legs are gonna be bricks, I just mentally I hate running on the sidewalks. Hate running with cars passing by. I don't like the fumes. I don't like running by a gas station. I feel like I'm not moving. But when I'm on some level of a trail, even if there's just a little bit of gradual change, it's like the change in scenery, going in and out of trees, seeing different things, I can get a little bit more, I just enjoy it more.
Sure.
So the run, I think, is going to be all mental. The bike, I mean, if my pelvic bones start hurting, that's going to just be Goggins suckfest battle. And I think the swim would just be, you know, a fun 1.2 swim. So yeah, I'm really excited. That was the first thing I wanted to tell you today.
I love the sport of triathlon, and that's what got me interested in CrossFit, because I like tough things. I like doing difficult things, but just doing a marathon seemed like being a one-trick pony. And I'm not built like a marathoner. I'm not meant to do that genetically. Like, I'm just not, you know, I can do it, but it's not my thing. And I like the fact that, like, you have to be good at multiple things. It's like, cool, swim, bike, and run. I got to be good at all these things. But the truth is, high-level triathletes are still just fast runners. So I was always the biggest one, and I was 25 pounds lighter than I am now. So I was like, okay, I need something that's even more broad spectrum than just.
That's where they shave off the time, right?
What's that?
Is the run where you win the race? Is it in the run? Because I've heard you don't really win it in the swim. Like the swim, it's kind of like the change in speed is just a few minutes.
I swim my Ironman swim within 15 minutes of the top people in the world. It's not, and my bike, I can hang on the bike pretty well. They are pretty good on the bike, but the run is where they blow the doors off, and they can run after, you know, 2.4 mile swim and a 116 mile bike. The top level runners can run 5-minute miles. Like, it's just, that's super cute.
I'm excited to get to the place in fitness where I think that I could contend with that. Like, that's what's been the really interesting thing is until this year, until this time, until this version of my body, I've never had the thought of, yeah, I could go do half an Ironman this week. Yeah. But I had the thought the other day, and I'm like, I'm pretty freaking sure I can do this. And that curiosity feels good.
You're built very well for it. You have long limbs, and you have a light frame. I've always been stocky. I've always been a bigger guy, and I'm just too heavy for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're absolutely built for it. So
this is fun to train for. If I enjoy the bike, meaning historically I haven't liked the bike because I've never had a good seat. And I just hate walking the next few days after riding a bike. But if I can enjoy the bike, which I hear that like the butt pads really help a lot, and having a right fitted bike and all these things, if I enjoy the bike, this might be something I start training for more, because I haven't felt this excited to do something in a long time.
Bear in mind that if you do, I've got a bunch of old triathlon shit that I will just give to you because it's just sitting in my garage. Like, I've got, like, I have boxes of stuff where I'm just like, I don't know that I'm ever going to use this, or where, like, I got training, I got shorts and jerseys and all that stuff.
In life of doing it again? Are you kind of done with triathlons?
No, I think I was actually talking to my friend Fabian, who's also done Ironman a few times, and we would both do it again. But only because everything else in our life is already so set that it's just like, yeah, let's do another challenge like that. Like
sure.
But like, we've ticked the box, so we're happy and content. So we've proved to ourselves that we can. But I would definitely do another one. But I sold off my like nicest stuff. I sold off my like high-end race bike in order to fund the gym. I still have a bike and stuff like that, so I could still go. I could join you tomorrow. I've got all the gear. I'm not going to. But I love the sport. Speaking of the saddle, I had a big problem because I had to buy a special saddle because there's a blood vessel that goes between your legs, right underneath, like, and it goes diagonally underneath your pubic bone.
Okay.
And that blood vessel supplies your penis with blood, just regular blood flow.
Yes.
And when I would ride any more than 20 miles on a standard saddle, the pressure on that one blood vessel would make my entire crotch go numb. Like, and not like, haha, isn't that funny numb, like scary numb.
Yeah.
Where I could feel my flesh against my leg, and I thought that it was something else in my pants. Like
Damn.
it was, and the sensation didn't come back for many hours later.
Yeah, that's scary. That's not cool.
And so they actually, and it's not uncommon. And so they make a saddle, and once I got it, it was like night and day. That's actually a split nose saddle. So most saddles have like one little thing like this. This
one has two, and it's like a dip in the middle.
And your pubic bones sit on either side, and so there's a gap in the middle, and so that blood vessel doesn't have any pressure on it.
I've definitely seen those bike seats.
And it's literally saved my career as a triathlete. It was the best investment ever. It was like a $200 saddle, and it was like the best thing I ever did. So you'll be.
Or have you only done the fulls?
What's that?
Have you done a half before, or have you only done the fulls?
Done them all.
Cool.
Done a bunch of lots of Olympic distance, which is basically a quarter.
Okay.
I've done several halves. The one that I've done most frequently is in Lake San Antonio, Central Coast, like San Luis Obispo. And they say, because it's so difficult, they say it's more like a 3/4. Wildflower is the name of the race. And then I've done one Ironman up in Lake Tahoe.
Nice.
So
Sweet.
It's a lot of fun, man. I wish you well in it. It's a great sport, and it's fun.
I'm excited. This will be just a new adventure. Last year I had never ran half marathon, and in this week of training, I ran that half marathon. And ironically, if I've never ran a half marathon, I've obviously never ran a marathon, but I've never ran like an organized race. My first organized race was Black Lives Matter march around the lake, the run around the lake.
Oh, you got to start signing. Look, there's something about race day magic, and look, it's CrossFit competitions or now functional fitness competitions or whatever you want to call it. Spartan races, fun run 5Ks, triathlons, like whatever it is. There's something about, I've got a bib that has a number on it, and I'm about to cross a timing mat, and they're keeping track of me digitally, and there's all these other people and all this other energy, and there's a person on a megaphone playing music and like calling out numbers, and it's like 3, 2, 1, go. That sensation, like it gives me tingles just right now just to think about it.
That's
like,
exciting.
It's wonderful. It's a wonderful sensation. It's like group mentality and competition, but we're all still friends because we're all just amateurs, just enjoying ourselves. It's just magical, and I love that. I love that aspect of sport. So
that's awesome. I do want to sign up and do some more of these races. You know, I want to do a half. I want a half marathon. I want to do some runs. I want to do some Ironmans, like things like that. I found it serendipitous that last year I did the half. You know, my first half marathon was just on my own. Yeah. Now my first freaking half an Ironman is just gonna be on my own.
Yeah.
It's an extra mental battle because I agree with you. I will rise to the occasion so much higher if I've got bib, if I'm being timed, if I've got like jabroni next to me that I'm competing against, like, you know, I'll push that bike a little harder.
And I'll tell you, jumping into the water with a few hundred strangers, all trying to swim fast, scary as shit.
Is it really?
Oh. I mean, we would train on how to swim over people or what happens when you get swum over.
So you do get bumped. I mean, you're definitely getting bumped into and stuff.
Bloody like elbows in the eye. Oh, yeah.
Damn. All right. Well, it looks like you're getting ready to do some work. Is that correct?
I am. I'm going to have some breakfast and stuff like that. So I'm not going to join you. But if you want to go ahead and go through everything, I don't think Jane joined us today.
No, I'm going to do a really quick flow because I do need to be done by 9. But I'll throw something quick on there so it's on the YouTube.
Yeah, perfect. Well,
and we're on Facebook, so if anyone catches it, then they can join in.
Yeah, for 20 minutes, people have been listening to us on Facebook. Bullshit. Whatever, fuck them.
All right, man, I'm going to text you tomorrow and tell you how it went.
Yeah, I really want to know. That's awesome. I'll really good time with it.
Thank you, and I appreciate the pieces of advice as well. I'm definitely going to make sure that I do a good job fitting myself on the bike. That I had not thought about to that level of like I could get off the bike and my body could be frozen.
Yeah.
So
it happened to me. I would never have thought of it unless it happened to me.
Cool. So. All right, Matt. I'll see you next week. Thanks, brother. And for anyone else that's on here, whether you're on Facebook Live or on the recording, thanks for listening to our conversation about my giant journey tomorrow. And with that in mind, let's go ahead and move the body a little bit, open it up. It's going to be a little bit of an abridged flow since nobody's on with me and because I did need that conversation with Matt. But we'll get it in. Stack the ears over the shoulders, shoulders over hips. Start to fire the glutes, have the hips over the knees and the knees over the ankles. Deep breath in, open the chest. Let the arms fall down. Another inhale, hands come up. Hold that space and squeeze the stomach, curl the fingertips in, forward shoulder circles. Continuing to breathe tall, lifting the back of your skull away from your tailbone, keeping your chin pulled back as if there's a rope on this chest and lifting the sternum up. Let the thumbs start to approximate together. Make sure we're initiating this motion from the shoulder joint, not the elbows or the wrists. Reverse the circle. And we're going to go palms up. Spread the fingertips away from the elbow pits. Reach the elbow pits away from the armpits. Unload that shoulder socket. Shoulder circles forward. And before we go up with it, we're going to let the shoulder circles get bigger and bigger. And smaller and smaller. Good, get them tight and circle again. And let the hands come overhead. When they get to the top, reverse the direction and bring them back down. Excellent, let's get these shoulder rolls in. And forward. If you work at a desk and you're catching this, I like to do these every 30 minutes to an hour. Just get up from your desk, stand up, roll the shoulders out, do some shoulder circles. You can lean side to side. All of this really helps to wake up those muscles that are inside your spine, the intrinsic muscles of the spine. And it helps to activate the core so that you're not sitting on your body, but you're actually sitting in your body. Collapsing and compressing on the body is when you start to get spinal compression problems. It's when you start to get pain in the low back, pain in the shoulders, pain in the lower neck. It's all happening because the body has been sitting on itself, collapsing, versus sitting in itself where we have the joints filled with air like airbags. I always like to move in all the planes of direction. So you've got rotation, you've got side to side, and then you've got flexion and extension. Guiding all movement with breath. Connecting your diaphragm to your movement. Hands come up overhead, clasp the fingertips together, and roll the shoulders out. Really see how far you can reach those hands at a nice circle above your head. Try to keep the spine rather neutral here. We're really initiating this motion from the shoulder joint. As a reminder, you've got 17 muscles in your shoulder joint. And so moving the shoulders in lots of different ranges of motion. Go ahead and initiate with the rib cage now. Moving the shoulders in lots of different ranges of motion really helps you open up each one of those muscles. Switch direction. You'll get some muscles in the shoulder joint and really in any major joint, hips as well. You get some muscles that are chronically tight based on posture, based on functional activities that you do. And then you get some muscles that become very deactivated, very weak. And often the deactivated or the weak muscles are our weak points and our vulnerable points where we will get injuries or pain. And so moving in this manner where we are focusing on both mobility and stability is a really good way to honor all of the muscles in the joints, all of the muscles in the body, and that is how we find the ideal tension state. Rolling the hips out here. Before we go to the knees, let's open up the neck. Neck mobility, you always want your chest lifted, your shoulders pulled back. You don't want to be rolled forward here and then do neck mobility. You only get half of your normal range of motion. Neck mobility is essential to do every single day. I normally encourage my clients to do it when they brush their teeth. Easiest way to remember to get it done, because you're gonna brush your teeth every day, probably twice a day. So getting into neck mobility while you're in front of the mirror is always helpful. Excellent. Now we're going down to the knees. And reverse direction. Single leg hip hinge, stack the weight into the left foot. Bring that right foot up to a 90-90 position. Roll the ankle out. Switch directions. Close the hip down. Open it up. Close it down. Open it up. 90-90. Strong hip hinge here. Extend that leg behind you. Push it through the heel. And then bend the knee. Reach for the sky. Stack the weight into the right foot. Lift the left foot up. Rotate the ankle. Switch directions. Close the hip down. Open it up. Close it down. Open it up. 90-90. Single leg hip hinge, good and strong. Push through the heel. Bend the knee. Reach for the sky. Knee to the chest. That is a quick and efficient standing flow. We're going to jump right down into breathwork from there. No ground flow today. And just change the music a little bit here. I'm gonna practice more Wim Hof today. So for Wim Hof, we'll be doing 33 full breaths in. I challenge you when you think that your lungs are totally full to expand even more before that recoil and the relaxed exhale. We'll do that 33 times. On the final exhale, you're gonna hold on empty and drift off into that quiet, drifty space with no oxygen in the lungs. Beginning to reset the mind and connect the mind to the heart before meditation. Here we go. Thirty-one. Final breath. For our second round today, if you are catching this on Facebook Live or joining with us in the recording, we're going to speed up the breathing for the next 33 rounds or 33 breaths. Doesn't need to be quite twice as fast, but a little bit more of a hyperventilation. This is getting into some themes of holotropic breath work. I still want you to breathe in fully and let it go, but just try to speed that process up a little bit. For this, I will cue when we are at 20, 30, and then also on our final breath since we're breathing a little bit faster. Altogether, 33 breaths. Here we go. That's 10. That's 20. Three more. Let it go. Moving on into meditation, staying exactly where you are in the space that you've been left after the breath work. Begin to imagine yourself as a glowing entity of light. Visualize the color of that light. Is it a gold and yellow, a vibrant green, a deep purple, a rich blue? Is it a fiery orange or red? Or is it a bright white light? Visualize what you feel when you see this light beaming out of you. Do you feel love? Do you feel certainty? Do you feel proud? Do you feel courage? Do you feel power? Do you feel connected? Do you feel vulnerable? Do you feel abundant? Tie together that emotional feeling with the image of that bright, beaming light that you are. I want you to visualize that light exploding from every pore in your skin, beaming out and creating this aura around you. I want you to visualize encountering other people, and that your light is so bright that even other people can see it. They see that aura and that glow around you, and when they see it, they feel what you feel. They feel your power, your love, your vulnerability, your certainty, your wisdom. They feel who you are because you are tapped into your authentic power. You are tapped into your inner light and you've decided to set it free. Today, crank that light up just a little bit more. Let it shine just a little bit brighter. Be who you are meant to be. And do what you are meant to do. Move through this life with your authentic flame, not trying to be anyone else or do it for anyone else. This life is for you. And that is not a selfish statement, because by acknowledging the growth and the changes and the evolution that each of us get to make in this life, we impact the collective wholeness that we all are connected to. And so you see, it's not selfish, but it's responsible to do your part in being your authentic self, to live your truth, and to discover the depths of who you are. Today, whatever color came up for you in your light, hold true to that color. Pay attention throughout your day and notice if that color comes up here or there, maybe in a unique way. I guarantee that spirit delivering a message. And if you're open, and if you're vulnerable, and if you're willing to listen, you can start to realize how powerful these meditations can impact you throughout your day, because of how it attunes your compass and your brain and your nervous system to discover that which is for you. Breaks us out of the matrix and out of the mold, and blasts us into our own being. Resetting the compass to true north. Resetting our intentions to peace, love, and connection. Choosing to own the day and to seek out the lessons. Choosing to get 1% better. than the version of yourself that you were yesterday. We're all here on a constant growth of evolution. And evolution starts with the mind. Beginning to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Starting to wake up the body from the outside in. Take a nice, deep, conscious breath. Let it go. And that will complete today's Move, Breathe, Meditate. If you caught this on Facebook, thanks for checking it out. Would love to have you on the live call maybe next week. We do this Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We do some movement, we do some breath work, and then we meditate. It's been one of the amazing hacks that I've been practicing in my life, and I would love to share it with you. So thanks for being here. Matt, I'll see you next week, brother, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Take care, Dylan. Have a great time.
Bye.
Thanks.